Look like Mayor Adams left the Democrats after they left him high and dry with all those charges. He ain't come to the light with Trump and the borders are. Let's see what they talk about.
Former FBI special agent and attorney Stu Kaplan and former New York prosecutor Paul Callan. Let's deal with the easy issue first, Paul, which is, can they make a deal like that? If we drop charges against you, you'll help us more with ICE. Probably yes, right?
Yeah, legally they can make that kind of a deal.
I don't like it.
But it really looks horrible. And bear in mind, the Department of Justice, the federal judiciary, are supposed to be the referees. They're supposed to be the ones who are watching the system to make sure everybody is honest. And when you have the guy in the Department of Justice, Bove, you know where you remember him from? He was the guy sitting next to Trump when Trump was on trial in a criminal case. He's now in charge or largely in charge of this whole thing at the Department of Justice. And he's turning around and saying, we're going to drop the charges against Adams if we can get Adams to give up this sanctuary city business that New York has always believed
then it's worth
propounded. Now, I don't think that's the way to change public policy, but Trump has an idea about the DOJ. He wants to bring a chainsaw to it and cut it down to size. And he's doing the same thing with Elon Musk and the federal bureaucracy. And this is how he's doing it. He's doing it through the mayor of New York.
But if it's legal, then it's a political decision. So, Stu, that's where I want you to kind of put your head on this as somebody who did the job on both ends. Is that a good trade? That we got a guy who this lady, and again, you guys know who Sassoon is. This is no lefty, political advocate. This is a real conservative. She says, no, I'm not making this case. And I had another charge against him. He tried to get people to hide evidence from me, and he did this quid pro quo. I'd rather quit. What do you make of this in terms of justice, fairness under law?
Well, Chris, look, we're getting a ringside seat to look behind the curtain. Generally, these type of things happen behind the curtain. We don't see, we don't hear of this. Let me be frank. I know these people, these prosecutors, their integrity, quite frankly, is beyond reproach. These are the best of the best. And I've told you in the past, the Southern District of New York is the premier United States Attorney's Office throughout the United States. These are the best. But let me also say this, that if in fact there was, and I do believe for the last 4 years, there's been a degree of weaponization within the Department of Justice to include the FBI. I've been very critical of that. And I equate this type of scenario that someone breaks into your house, meaning law enforcement breaks into your house without a warrant and finds drugs in your house. Now, we feel uncomfortable because we know you're guilty, you're in possession of drugs. However, the price we have to pay is we have to suppress that evidence because we didn't follow the rule of law. My position on this case is that the weaponization of the Department of Justice must be cleansed because it didn't affect the trajectory of fairness in selective prosecution. And while I believe the evidence against the mayor is overwhelming, because I believe in these prosecutors, because I know each and every one of them, that in fact there was overwhelming evidence to present to a grand jury, and they also had to believe that beyond a reasonable doubt they would get or secure a verdict against him. I stand behind them. I do believe, though, the measure of, in fact, if there was weaponization, while it makes us feel uncomfortable, we have to pay that high price and dismiss those charges against the mayor.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com.
So that was a short one. Remember, I don't watch these before. So what he's saying is some people in the DOJ was using the fact that we could charge you against Mayor Adams, and it was being weaponized against him. So what Trump and them did was say, you know what, we're going to drop these, and you're going to work with us. Which one is right? Both of them seem a little quick pro quo, but in this way, if I'm Mayor Adams, I'm going with Trump, he's going to drop the charges. These people kind of hang it over your head like, okay, anytime you act up, we could always, really take this to the next thing, really go to the grand jury. Which Trump felt like he was prosecuted or he was wrongfully targeted by the DOJ. So he's going to take up for Mayor Adams, I guess. Let me look up something else real quick. Because I seen him in the borders are right here. These are the most lawyer address. DOJ ordered to drop federal corruption. Let's see.
Mayor Eric Adams making his first public appearances since word the Justice Department is looking to dismiss the federal criminal charges against.
He's the man New Yorkers can rely on.
We want you to hear directly from me.
Trying to assure them he's tackling quality of life problems like homelessness.
I've been extremely focused on that, so I'm going to go look at that location.
But it's another issue, immigration, that the mayor's attorney acknowledged today was of high interest to the Justice Department.
Obviously, if you indict the sitting mayor of New York City, who has lots of responsibilities for public safety, that has an impact on his ability to function.
But attorney Alex Spiro insists there was no quid pro quo and no legal threat from the Trump administration to the Adams administration.
There is no looming threat. This case is...
Don't get it twisted. They could, there's ways to say it without saying it. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe we will help you with that. We'll see what we can do. But first, let's do this. There's ways for it.
Over. This case will never be brought back.
Sounding definitive, even though the Justice Department memo, while ordering prosecutors to dismiss the pending charges, also left it open, saying the matter shall be reviewed by the confirmed U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York following the November 2025 mayoral election.
What does that mean? If he get reelected, they could bring him. They won't bring it up. Again, he's gonna help him with the immigration policy. Or if he helps them until then they'll just throw it away. But November, they're going like, hey, we're going to sit and see how you do. But November, we're going to either decide to do it or not. We'll see what's up. So if he holds himself closer to Trump and like just keep allegiance or alliance with Trump and that party, then he'll be good. But if he somehow go back to the Democrats or say something crazy, then maybe. Yeah, I don't like it, but like the guy said, it's like they was using it against him too. So now both sides are using it against him, and he's just trying to get that shit off his back.
Some officials worry that threat makes Adams vulnerable when he meets tomorrow with Trump border czar Tom Homan.
What I don't like is that he met with him. Let me see. I spelled Adams wrong. But I think it's wrong to house these illegal immigrants. So, hey. Yeah, this is the one I think I was watching before.
But first, all on. Short while after Trump's Justice Department dropped the corruption charges against Adams and then set its sights on Albany, suing New York State for allegedly resisting federal immigration enforcement.
So that he won't stand, the mayor won't stand in the way of any of the things they're doing. It's kind of like he got a leash on him now from both sides. Now it's a little more leaning right, holding the leash. But before that, Biden and the rest of the left was holding it. Now Trump and them holding it. It could be seen as wrong on both sides. I ain't gonna lie. But he's a shiesty motherfucker, and hey, if that's what it takes to get these illegal immigrants out and to get in these sanctuary cities, I'm all for it. But it can't go above that. Otherwise, the right gonna become just as bad as the left. But right now, fuck it. Do what it takes, because they doing stuff illegal. How do you fight it? How do you fight? You gotta, I don't know. They fighting fire with fire. But they throw a little water on the left fire by dropping these charges on him. Now we're going to see his real thoughts maybe. But let me know what y'all think, Cave Dwellers. Right or wrong? Is they right or is it wrong?